Afternoon, good evening, guys. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal. So, guys, this is lecture 3 for probability. So, my advice to you before attending any kind of lectures on probability, please go through permutation combination as well as set theory, right? And if you are watching third lecture, probably you need to watch first and second to go for third lecture. Now we have discussed conditional probability. Conditional probability, right? So basically, the key to this was one by one without replacement. So I did my best to give you example. What exactly do you mean when we say one by one without replacement, and when we say we are just taking out four balls, isn't it, or 4 cards, or we are taking 4 cards one by one? That has been done. Now what exactly we need to know is what is independent events, all right, and what would be independent probability. That is something you need to distinguish, because conditional and independent, they are interdependent, right? So I'm creating the same example. I say I have got 4 white balls and 7 red and 8 blue balls in a bag. 4 balls are drawn. See this? 4 balls are drawn one by one with replacement. So I change it now, with replacement. Now this is important, one by one but with replacement. Find probability that all 4 are white. Find probability that all 4 are white. Now you understand, sir, the question is same. So what is the difference now? The difference lies over here, with replacement. With replacement. Now see, if I say A is the event, so I say A is the event of getting a white first time, right? And B is the event of getting white second time, and C is an event of getting white third time, and D is the event of getting white fourth time. All right. So now he is saying what is probability of A and B and C and D. Probably you should apply conditional probability, if there was without replacement. But now what's happening is one white ball is picked and it is immediately replaced. So you realize that in first go, picking a white, probability was 5 upon 20. But in the second go, again that white ball which was picked was replaced. So it is again 5 by 20. Third time again 5 by 20. Fourth time again 5 by 20. So you realize happening of second event or third event or fourth event is not affected by first or second or third or fourth. So happening of second event is not affected by first, happening of third event is not affected by first and second and affected, and happening of fourth event is not affected by first, second and third, which means now they are independent events. So when are the events independent? Events are independent when happening of one event does not bother the happening of another event, and in that case we call that events are independent, right? And in this case we say probability of A and B and C and D is probability of A into probability of B into probability of C into probability of D, right? So that formula that we had changes, right? So literally you can easily answer otherwise also. You don't need to have any formula, any logic, but you need to have the clear thought. So guys, listen, conditional, when we talk about conditional, it is without replacement. Genuinely telling, right, without replacement. In that case, probability of A and B is probability of A into probability of B when A has occurred. We have discussed this formula, isn't it? And similarly, you can continue probability of A and B and C would be probability of A, though you don't need to write any of this formula, probability of B when A has occurred and probability of C when A and B have occurred, and so on. So what is it depicting? You don't need to write these formulas. It is depicting that second event depends upon first and third event depends upon first and second. But in case of independent probability, probability of A and B is probability of A into probability of B, and probability of A and B and C is probability of A into probability of B into probability of C, and so on. So this is the difference. If you are able to make a difference, I genuinely believe you are never ever going to have any problem in conditional as well as independent probabilities, right? So now let's talk about a question. Let's talk about few questions. He says a policeman fires 4 bullets at a thief. A policeman fires 4 bullets at a thief. The probability that thief would be killed by 1 bullet is 0.6. Probability that thief is killed by 1 bullet is 0.6. He says probability that the thief is alive. Alright, so listen, probability of thief being killed is 0.6 and probability of thief being alive is 0.4, isn't it? Now happening of one event does not affect the happening of another event, bullets, right? In that case, you realize probability of living and probability of second living and probability of third living and probability of fourth living would give you probability of living of first shot, probability of living in second shot, probability of living in third shot, and probability of living in 4 shots, right? Which actually comes out to be 0.4 into 0.4 into 0.4 into 0.4, 0.4 to the power 4 is the given probability. Alright, so now you realize that not a hell lot of difference you would make out by a question itself. Right? So let's see why independent probability is really important. Is I see a lot of questions with this at least on independent probability. So we are going to do some of them. Let's see. He says again I say bag contains 5 white, 7 black and 8 yellow balls, right? And he says 4 balls are drawn one by one with replacement. 4 balls one by one with replacement. This is important, with replacement. Right, so question is probability that at least one is white. Probability that at least one is white. So I'm marking some key important information over here. First is with replacement, one by one, at least. So, right, at least. So I think whenever there is at least one is white, probability at least one is white would be 1 minus probability none is white. None is white, and it is 1 by 1 with replacement. So definitely in this case 1 minus probability first is not white is 15 upon 20. 7 plus 8, black and yellow, right? So we are only talking about non-white ball. Second is not white, is again 50 by 20. Reason, with replacement. Had it been without replacement, we could have written 14 by 19, isn't it? Into 15 by 20, into 15 by 20. So your answer would be 1 minus 3 by 4 raised to the power 4. This is the probability when at least one is white. Now I hope this does throw some light now, isn't it? I think I'm easily understandable. So let's do, kindly note it down. We'll do one more question. So let's see. He says a problem is given to 3 students whose chances of solving it are 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 4 respectively. Alright. A problem is given to 3 students whose chances of solving it are 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 4. Find probability that the problem is solved. Find probability that the problem is solved. Now you have to understand, what do you mean when the problem is solved? A problem is solved even when one of them solves the problem, isn't it? So either you say, sir, problem is solved when A solves it but B could not and C could not, or problem when A could not but B could and C could not, or problem is solved when A could not, B could not, but C could, or problem is solved when A could solve it, B could solve it, but C could not solve it, or problem is solved when A could solve it, but B could not solve it, but C could solve it, or problem is solved when A could not solve it, but B could solve it, or C could solve it, or problem is solved when A could solve it, B could solve it, or C could solve it. If you want to make cases, this is bullshit. Please mind my language, I'm sorry, right? So why don't we do, what is the question? He says question is when the problem is solved would be 1 minus when the problem is not solved. When the problem is not solved, isn't it? So when is the problem not solved? 1 minus probability when A could not solve it, B could not solve it and C could not solve it. So definitely it would give you same cases. So why do you want to make 7 cases? Isn't it? That is the reason at least comes into a play. When is the problem solved? A problem is solved when at least one of them solves the problem. Alright? At least one of them solves the problem. In that case, your answer would now be 1 minus probability that A could not solve the problem into probability that B could not solve the problem into probability when C could not solve the problem. 1 minus 1 by 2 and 2 by 3 and 3 by 4. It is 1 minus 1 by 4 comes out to be 3 by 4 as your answer. Comes out to be 3 by 4 as your answer. So that's called, smartly analyzing a problem. So even this would give you the same answer, but it would give you a lot of calculation and a lot of space would be utilized. So I hope, things are clear now, guys. So let's do another problem. Now, before doing that, odds in favor of event A, odds in favor, right? So, when we talk about odds in favor or odds against favor, so listen to me. So, I say odds in favor of event A would be number of cases favorable to A upon number of cases not favorable to A. Number of cases favorable to A upon number of cases not favorable to A. So you realize that if you go back, you would realize this would come out to be N upon M. If you see, check out, basic definitions of probability, just go to the first lecture, you would get this, right? Which is, again, so can I write it as N upon M plus N upon M plus N? Right, so dividing it by M plus N, total number of cases, which actually is probability of A upon probability of non-happening of A. So remember, odds in favor probability of A upon probability of non-happening of A. Alright, similarly, so this is really good logic, right? Similarly, odds against event A would be probability of non-happening of A upon probability of happening of A. Probability of non-happening of A upon probability of happening of A. Alright, so that's called odds against A, right? So remember, odds in favor of an event into odds against an event is always equal to 1. It is always equal to 1. Alright, and now if I say odds in favor of event A is 7 upon 8. So from here you can say probability of happening of A is 7 upon 7 plus 8, which is 7 by 15. And probability of non-happening of A is 8 upon 7 plus 8, which is 8 upon 15. Keep this thing in mind. So this is the way you do it. Alright. Similarly, odds against favor. So you have to divide the numerator and denominator by the sum of them. And the upper side would be probability not in favor, and denominator would be probability of happening. All right, so if this be so, let's talk about why we have done it. So sometimes a question comes and you realize that you did not have small bit of knowledge, right? It says odds against A solving a problem, odds against A solving a problem, odds against A solving a problem are 4 to 3. Odds against A solving a problem are 4 to 3, and odds in favor of B solving a problem, odds in favor of B solving a problem are 7 to 5. This is how they have given, 7 to 5. So he says find the probability that the problem is solved. Find probability that the problem is solved. So question is same as the previous question. The point is now he has given odds, right? So you say odds against A are 4 to 3, which means probability of non-happening of A 4 by 7 and probability of happening of A are 3 by 7. Interpretation, right? Odds against he is talking about, right? Odds in favor of A are 7 to 5, which B, this is B. So probability of B is 7 upon 12 and the probability of non-happening of B is 5 by 12. Alright, so now we know that probability of happening and non-happening. So this is probability that the problem is solved. So a problem would either be solved when A solves it, B does not solve it, or B solves it, A does not solve it. So one way of writing is probability when A solves it but B could not solve it, or probability when A could not solve it but B solves it, or probability when A could solve it and B could also solve it. One way of writing. Or one is 1 minus probability when A could not solve it and B could not solve it. Isn't it? In that case, definitely, question is solved. 1 minus probability of A could not solve it, probability of B could not solve it. 1 minus A could not solve it, 4 by 7. B could not solve it, 5 by 12. So you solve it, you would get your answer. Not that tough. Isn't it? So one more question on this kind of concept. Let's see. He says A can hit a target 4 times in 5 shots. A can hit a target 4 times in 5 shots. 4 times in 5 shots. And B can hit a target 3 times in 4 shots. 3 times in 4 shots. And then C can hit a target 2 times in 3 shots. So he says the question is, first is any 2 of A, B and C, any 2 of A, B and C hit the target. Any 2 of A, B and C hit the target. And secondly, none of them hit the target. Second is none hit the target. Alright, so any 2 means, A hits the target, B hits the target, C could not hit the target. Or A hits the target, B could not hit the target, but C hits the target. Or A could not hit the target, B hits the target, and C hits the target. Any 2. Now you have to understand this, alright? And then you realize what is probability of A, 4 by 5. So probability of non-happening of A, 1 by 5. Probability of B, 3 by 4. Probability of non-happening of B, 1 by 4. Probability of C, 2 by 3. Probability of non-happening of C, 1 by 3. All you need to do is put the values now, because this is independent probability. It is probability of A into probability of B into probability of C dash, isn't it? Non-happening. So probability of happening of A, 4 by 5. Happening of B, 3 by 4. Non-happening, 1 by 3. Or happening of A, 4 by 5. Non-happening, 1 by 4 of B. And happening, 2 by 3. Isn't it? And then probability of A not happening, 1 by 5. B happening, 3 by 4. C happening, 2 by 3. Solve it, get your answer, right? So you can cancel 3 everywhere. I think 3 is going everywhere. No, 3 is not going everywhere, guys. So generally, you don't need to cancel off. See, it is 4 into 5, 20, 60. So denominator is 60 and remaining is 12. plus 8 plus 6. Alright, so comes out to be 26 by 60. And solve it. 13 upon 30 is your answer, right? And second, he says none of them hit the target, which means absolutely is asking for none of them, means it is probability of A not hitting and B not hitting and C not hitting, isn't it? Which would be 1 by 5 into 1 by 4 into 1 by 3. So answer is 1 by 60 in that case. So I hope this is giving you good clarity, guys. You're getting good clarity out of it now, right? Then let's do some more questions on independent, and you have to understand whether it is independent or conditional. He says a bag. I would do so many questions on balls and bags and cards, so that when you have a question in front of you, you realize that it is out of your notes, it is out of the video. A bag contains 5 white, 3 ball, 5 white, 3 blue. A bag contains 5 white, 3 blue, right? 4 balls are successively drawn. 4 balls are successively drawn. Now again a new word, successively drawn. 4 balls are successively drawn without replacement. So without replacement, guys, conditional, without replacement. Alright. So the question is, what is the probability that they are alternatively of different color? Probability they are alternatively of different colors. Now this is amazing. 4 balls are drawn, right? 4 balls are drawn. So now please, either the case is probability first is white, second is blue, third is white, and fourth is blue, isn't it? Or probability first is blue and second is white and third is blue and fourth is white, isn't it? That is the way it has to be. So probability first is white, 5 by 8. Probability second is blue, 3 by 7. Why 3 by 7? Because it is without, I think it has to be without, sorry, you have to write without replacement, guys. Without replacement, right? 3 by 7, because already one ball has gone. So third white would be 4 by 6, and fourth blue would be 2 by 5. Got it? So, or second case plus second case, first is blue, 3 by 8, second is white, 5 by 7, third is blue, 2 by 6, fourth is white, 4 by 7, 4 by 5. So now guys, either you cancel off, I think it may cancel off, isn't it? 3, 6 and 3 and 2 and 6. This cancels off, right? And 5 is cancelling off with 5. Here also 5 is cancelling off with 5, isn't it? So your answer is 4 by 56 plus 4 by 56, which is 8 by 56, which is 1 by 7. 8 by 56, which is 1 by 7. So easy, isn't it? Not that tough. I hope things are good now. So, next question. Again, let's see. He says bag A and bag B. So he's talking about red and black. Red, black. Bag A has 4 and 5. And your bag B has 3 and 7. All right. So now question. He says one ball is drawn from bag A. One ball is drawn from bag A and two balls are drawn from bag B. So one ball is drawn from bag A and two balls are drawn from bag B. All right. Find probability that two are black. Probability that two are black and two are black and one is red. Two are black and one is red. So obviously, guys, come on. One ball is drawn from A. So first is probability. One ball is drawn from bag A. So red from bag A and black from bag B, isn't it? So one from and two from this. Or probability that black is from bag A and there are two balls from B, isn't it? Two balls of different color, isn't it? That is the way it has to be. That is the way it has to be. So probability that first see this probability that red is from black bag A. Red means 4 by 9 into, they are independent because both the bags are not related to each other. Now see, two balls are drawn from bag B. So this is a case where he has not written two balls are drawn from bag B one by one, isn't it? So now two balls are drawn and both the balls are black from B. So out of 7, you have to draw 2. 7C2, isn't it? So black balls and total is 10C2. So one case, first case. One red from bag A, 4/9. Two black from bag B, 7C2 upon 10C2. Alright. Then second case. Case 2. Plus. See, bag B, first bag A has one black. So one black, 5 by 9. And bag B has one black and one red. So one black and one red. So one bag B has one black and one red. 3C1 into 7C1 upon 10C2. So now when there is no 1 by 1, this is the way you have to do it, right? This is really, really important. Solve it, you would easily get your answer, don't worry, right? So now you can differentiate, when to use C and when to use your independent events or maybe, conditional events, huh? So one more question, huh? So let's see. He says 3 critics review a book. Three critics review a book. Odds in favor